legends, you've got this image of cattle raids, people nip over the border to an enemy tribe, go there, steal cattle, prove their valour, fight with each other, and then take a few victories, go back with boasting rights and half a dozen cattle, and then you'd do it the other way around, so the other tribe would turn up over the border. Not fighting, not attacking would probably be a sign of weakness, and it would invite other people to come and attack you, because if you're not raiding, it means you're weak. So low-level warfare, not this agricultural splendour that we all tend to think of. They were fighting, and we've got lots of Britons sort of like squabbling amongst themselves. It all comes to a bit of a head because the Roman Emperor Caligula becomes really, really unpopular, and the person who follows him is his uncle, Claudius. Now, Claudius probably had cerebral palsy. He was hidden from normal society. The Romans had a bit of a bad attitude to people with disabilities, and they didn't really like to show this. So Claudius hadn't gone through the normal military training that any Roman man would do. He'd ended up as a bit of a historian. He wrote some histories that nobody has actually, did not survive, but there's a reference to them. So Claudius becomes emperor in 41 AD, and he needs something to show that he really is a great Roman emperor. We've got probably Druids coming over to Gaul and influencing, so Caligula had tried to do an invasion during his previous reign. It had failed. He never got off the beach, but the Romans decided, well, we're going to do it now. So in 43 AD, the Romans turn up, and they fight a series of battles, ending up with what we think of as a victory. Claudius actually turned up for about 16 days. He brought an elephant to Britain and rode it up to Colchester, which wasn't a particularly nice experience. So we have the Romans coming in, and they're looking for slaves, they're looking for tin, they're looking for hunting dogs. Anything that they can actually find and sell to other people is a great idea. So we have the Romans invading. And they work their way through the country. We have the revolt in the AD 60s under Boudicca, or Boudica as the modern pronunciation takes it. And we end up with a mass battle somewhere in the middle where the Britons are defeated and the Romans end up victorious. Before we actually start fighting, because that's what we like to do, the Vikings are not really much about the drill group. We're much more about chasing each other with spears and swords. What we try and show you, because we're not a huge group, we try and show you this kind of low-level skirmishing that you get with people attacking small groups of Romans, attacking small groups of Britons, trying to sort them out. Okay, so we're going to give you a quick walk through of what people would be wearing. So, could we have an average Briton, please? Could you just rise from the dead, any of you Britons? You just hold your stirrup if you're an average Briton, and we'll just have a quick look at what you're wearing. Your typical Briton is Matt. You just wave your stirrup on Matt. Sorry, Mark, I'm rubbish at this. One of these days we'll get it right. Yeah? And you can see he's heavily armoured in a tunic and a set of trousers. He's got no helmet, no sword, and he's carrying a shield as his only piece of armour. He's got a spear, and that's his main weapon. So you can see Caroline the same, and Will. Then also we've got the same thing, shield, spear, and the clothes they stand up in. So, typical Briton, and the majority of them will be wearing this kind of gear and carrying this kind of equipment, nothing more than a shield and spear. Perhaps one in 1,000 would be dressed as a top warrior. You can see your man over there with the white shield has got a helmet on, that marks him out as a minor chieftain, a man of some status. Your man in the middle here has got a mail shirt on. He is one of the top people. He's a chieftain. He probably owns half of East Anglia. He's fighting with a spear and shield, but he's also got a sword on his head. A real man of substance and power. He's wearing a mail shirt. Remember, there was no credit cards or bank loans in this period. If you wanted a mail shirt, you paid somebody 6, 8 months or however long it took to make it, and it was a real status symbol. So he's the most heavily armoured one you'll find on the Brit side. Helmet, mail shirt, he's got a sword and a shield. He is really, really, really the exception amongst the British side. So, on the Roman side, we have our auxiliary infantrymen. The Romans had two sort of classes of infantrymen, but if you like, the auxiliaries were paid about 2/3 of the rate of the legionary. They didn't have to be a Roman citizen. You can see he's carrying a flat shield called the clipeus. There's different designs. I've got my own, which is by here, which is a different shape, it's sort of one of a Doncaster, but the one in the middle there is much more typical. He's wearing a mixture of kit. He's wearing trousers. How very barbaric. Romans thought that trousers were really, really, really beyond the pale. People shouldn't wear trousers. He's wearing caligae, Roman military sandals. He's got a sword. He's got a mail shirt on. Yeah? So he's got a gladius. He's carrying a spear and a shield. And he's pretty much equipped like a Roman infantryman to all intents and purposes. He's got a helmet on. You can see I'm wearing pretty much the same helmet, mail shirt, and I'm wearing trousers and leg wraps. So different degrees of barbarian behaviour. Trousers are really, really not on as far as the Romans are concerned. But as you can see, the Roman auxiliary is actually better equipped than the best man on the Briton side. And this is the majority of the troops. Now if we've got a Roman infantryman or two, these are the legionaries. They are trained. They train all day, every day. They run 20 odd miles of their training exercise. They dig holes, they make buildings, they make roads. Your Roman infantryman is very, very well equipped, very, very well protected. You can see they're carrying the big scooter, the Roman shield. It's a marvellous piece of technology. It protects your front and it protects your entire left side. When you're in a shield wall, you have got a interlocking nightmare to get past. It really is hard to kill Romans. All Romans have a helmet on. And you have a closer look at the helmet. It's got cheek guards and it's got a neck guard. The helmet has if you like, a reinforcement across the brow, making them sort of fairly sword-proof. They're not going to stop everything, but they'll stop an awful lot. Head wounds will put the man out pretty quickly. So, shield and helmet, either a mail shirt, or they've got the segmented armour. The modern term for this is lorica segmentata, or just segmented banded armour. You can see this covers the shoulders, and it covers the main body. It makes you pretty much invulnerable to sword thrusts, and very hard to kill. They all carry a sword. Did you just wave the swords up? Gladius is the normal Roman word for a sword. There's different types. There's a mate's type, there's a Hispaniensis, Pompey type, we've found lots of them. They all do the same thing. People will tell you it's a stabbing sword. You don't put an edge on a stabbing sword. It's absolutely lethal. We've got some wide blades. We'll usually show you those. It will cut through anything. They wear a tunic. There's a lot of debate about what colour tunic should be, and they wear caligae on their feet, which is a Roman military hobnail sandals. Okay, I've talked enough. You're probably getting bored. I'm certainly getting bored of listening to me, so let's do some fighting. Normally, the Brits would do this kind of battle of champions. The Britons loved the idea of boasting about how damn good they were. So, for the Britons, when they go out for a fight, they want to come back and earn boasting rights. They want everybody to know that they are the greatest warrior, and they take heads to prove how good they were. So we're going to do something a bit historic, and we think it's fun. We're going to let you see a couple of Brits fight a couple of Romans. So could we have an ordinary British infantryman and a Roman auxiliary? And we'll just show you. They're fighting pretty much the same style. The difference is that the Roman auxiliary has got a mail shirt. The infantryman from the Brit side has only got a tunic. And that's where it makes a difference. Big round of applause for the Roman auxiliary. That's where it makes a difference. A cut to a chest by the Briton doesn't kill him, doesn't do anything. Cut to the chest with a spear by the auxiliary infantryman takes him out. That's the difference between the Romans and the Britons. Okay, our heavily armoured British warrior, our top G, our best man, against a Roman. If you look at the Roman advancing, there's no targets. He's behind that shield, he's got a helmet on, there's nowhere where you can get him. So our Brit is going to try and get him to move that shield out of the way, but even if he does, he's still going to have to get past that armour. And that short sword really does show up. Oh, it's going to go to swords now. Doesn't have to move that shield much. The Brit shield is actually very effective. He doesn't need to move it. Look how the Romans use the shield as a weapon. Oh, dearly. Try and get round, but if you get round, he's still armoured on the back. What is this? Oh, we got a kill. A fight cut the thing.
Yeah.
Round of applause for our Roman infantrymen. So what we need to do now is, that's a kind of bit unrealistic because you'd never have battle of champions, but we wanted to show you, we wanted to show you how it works. The auxiliaries tend to fight in the same way as the Brits because they're probably recruited from the same base. So when the Romans move into an area, they would typically recruit people to pacify, but they wouldn't use them where they recruit them. So people recruited in Britain would usually go and fight in Germany or Syria or North Africa or Spain or wherever they're needed. You don't want mixed loyalties. So what we're going to do is show you a typical bit of skirmishing. So if you imagine the Romans got a small vexillation, that's a small group of people sent out for a purpose, they've been ambushed by the Brits. If you look, the Brits are all trying to intimidate them, the Romans are dead quiet. The Romans intimidate them by doing nothing, and you've got to get through that shield wall. And if they can work their way around the back, they might have a chance. I think the Romans will probably go with this one. Little Brit dead, over the chicken fight zone, and the Romans mobbing. Bam! Romans win!
Yay.
Oh, now the death can arise, we'll do it again. These battles are not scripted, they go as they go. Some days the Romans win time and time again, some days the Brits win and the Romans don't seem to have it anymore. Okay. So Romans down 7. Alright, what we're going to do now is show you, because we're not a particularly big group, we're showing you our testudo. It's a cross-section through a testudo. So, if you just take one line, you can see, I'm going to get killed there, aren't I? Stop! You can see a cross-section. You can see how people, the man at the front has a shield to protect him, typically used for assaults to castle walls or fortifications. Okay? We're going to have another go at them. Okay? Time for a return match, see what the Britons can do this time. So what tactics are we going to use this time? We're going to free flow, kill them, that'll do. Okay. Against the Britons, who are using the shield and spear technique, standing in a formation doesn't really work in small groups. You tend to work best if you fight them with their own techniques. So they're trying to stop them from flanking them. One down, two down, three down. And now it's about mopping up the enemy. Notice how the Romans bunch up on them. If you're fighting against a group of people, unless it's Will who can run like a maniac, what he does is he tries to outrun all the Romans. up to the point where he gets killed. Okay, if the dead can come back up to life, please. Oh. Chris, do you want to take over the mic for a minute? Let me have a go.
Oh, it's the wusses.
Hello? Right, we want everyone to have a chance to fight, so I'm graciously allowed me to be subbed out. While I get my breath back. One thing we always get asked when we do these displays is why don't the Romans actually fight in testudo? Because it's that classical Roman killing machine. Apparently, it's not. Testudo was only ever used if you were coming up against an armoured fortification. So just to prove anybody wrong before they start asking us in the camp afterwards, if the Romans would make a testudo, please. Gentlemen and women, if your own time. So, do you think the Romans are going to win? I asked a question. Who few knows? This has been the first win for the Brits today. There is a big moral to this story. It's called, if you've got small numbers and a large field, don't all stand in one place. It's a very big target. So congratulations to the Brits for their first win of the day.
Yeah.
And frankly, if you'd have lost that, I'd be very disappointed. So, what's the score? I wasn't keeping track, I was killing people. 3-1 against the Brits, thank you. Okay, so, are you up for another? Well, I can hear the crowd saying yes. Are you guys as well? Okay. Straight fight, who's going to win this time? Bear in mind the Romans have lost their star player, remember? Okay, this is an interesting Roman tactic. They've done an orbit. This is what you use to defend the standard if you know you're going to die. They just formed a ring and created a massive target. You can see here how well the scutum works if you're in a ring like that. In fact, when the Romans were massacred in a forest in Germany in the early 1st century, they find deposits of bodies in circles like this, where we know they probably were defending their eagles to the last man. Haven't you finished him yet? Come on.